All aboard! Next stop, Chicago Junction.
Yes, it's Chicago Junction, being the radio station that's about everything that is trains. Now here's our boss, the head of Windy City Hometown Radio Network, as well as being the chief engineer, Mr. John LaVita.
Well, thank you, Brian. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another broadcast of Chicago Junction from the John LaVita Broadcast Center on the northwest side on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network on Monday, April the 14th, the year 2014. Today, the panel will be talking about railroads and model railroads. And now, to start today's broadcast, here is our announcer, Mr. Brian.
And now here's our host with the most, Mr. Jack Ryan.
I guess this is where the buck passing stops. Hello, everybody, and welcome, and I'm glad you're listening to us. And we're recording today. It is evening, the 14th of April already, Anno Domini 2014. And it's a beautiful spring day outside, covered with a winter day. As you know, we had a nice weekend, and well, it turned yesterday, and it'll be gone again. Pretty soon, we'll have forgotten the winter and all. So we let's see, we have a special guest today from the where is it? From the U.S. Bullet Train, is that right?
New York, Chicago Bullet Train.
Chicago Bullet Train, that's right.
New York-Chicago Bullet Train on Facebook.
Mike Lehman, how you doing, Mike? Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. And we have our regular panel. We got Doug. Wait a minute. I'm not prepared. Oh, what's your name again, Doug? I forgot it. Douglas. Kemyuk, I'm sorry.
Hello there.
How's everything going?
So far, so good.
Yeah, so far, so good, I guess. And Brian Valou.
Yeah, and we're working to try to open up the season there at the Chicago Botanic Garden.
Okay.
We have a railroad, the railroad garden there. And we have a lot of other things coming up.
My chauffeur, Kevin Barry. How are you, Kevin?
Good evening, John. Gentlemen.
And we are missing tonight Tom McKenna. He had a previous appointment. And Dave Darushka is a little under the weather, and he had to go to the doctor, and he said he's sorry he's not here. And carry on and have a good show. He said break a leg. So we got a few things going on here. As I understand, you got some stuff to announce, Kevin?
Well, yeah, and what I miss, I'm sure Brian will help me out on. Amtrak is sponsoring National Train Day on Saturday, May 10th, and you can go and just www.nationaltrainday.com, and it'll plug you right into the website, and that'll be down at Chicago Union Station. And there are four main sites: Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Philadelphia, and Chicago. And there are numerous local sites. And when you go to the website, they come up. And the only thing I'm sad about is that because of a scheduling conflict, the Chicagoland Lionel Railroad Club will not be down there this year. It'll be the first time we've missed it. But we all have obligations that we have to honor.
That's true.
Anything else?
Well,
actually, National Train Day is a fun day down there for the whole family.
Yeah.
I mean, they have Radio Disney actually performs down there. There's a lot of travel agencies and organizations that have tables there for people to talk to. One of the newest additions is going to be the Iowa Pacific Group. They've been running for the last year. They've been running Pullman cars on the back of the city of New Orleans to give you a taste of the way it used to be.
What kind of cars?
Pullman cars.
Pullman. Okay.
In fact, they run by the Pullman book.
What do you mean?
All the rules and regulations that the porters, the stewards, the cooks did on the train in the old days, they do today. They have 4 different sleeping arrangements. Most expensive being a double bedroom, master bedroom, which has a double bed, shower, complete. And that's located in the club car, which is quite good because that way you don't have to go that far to fall into bed. The full dining experience is in a dome diner, full-length dome with the kitchen underneath. The prices are anywhere from $375 for a one-way ticket to $2,400 for a one-way ticket, and it's for an overnight trip to New Orleans. All the amenities are taken care of. Kitchen's open for 24 hours. So if you wanted to have a snack in the middle of the night, you can have that. Bar's open. And you can also get packages put together where they'll put you up in a hotel when you get down there. Because they're not allowed to let the people stay on the trains in the station.
Okay, I didn't know that.
But the cars are stored there.
But if you hop a freight, they don't put you up, right?
No. Then then you ride the Boxcar Central.
No, that sounds really interesting. It sounds very historic and like a sort of a flashback type of thing, right?
Well, that's what it is. It's to remind people of the way it used to be with the rail travel. Mm-hmm. And it seems to be getting pretty popular.
It would. That seems to be the way to go. Luxury and, as you say, people pamper them a little. Give them
I mean, even when you get a beer, if you watch carefully, according to the Pullman handbook, there's a 12-step method for pouring a beer on board the moving train.
12 steps.
12 steps.
No chug-a-lugs, huh?
That's it.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of living history then. Who's running this?
It's run through. It's called Pullman Journeys, owned by their parent company is Iowa Pacific.
Okay.
Which is running short lines across the country. They've been acquiring cars. They have about 80 cars that are in line that they've been refurbishing at 2 points, one in Colorado and one in the east.
And they leave from Union Station?
They leave from Union Station. They leave on a Thursday and come back on Monday.
210 South Canal is the official address. Adams and Canal or Adams and Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. I used to work down there.
Or Jackson.
Does it go that far, Jackson?
Yep.
Yeah, Jackson's on the other side.
Oh, that's right, Adams. Yeah, you're right. Did you ever notice how many presidents are named after streets in downtown Chicago?
It's amazing it works out that way.
Yeah. There's even a Quincy. For Quincy Adams.
These train cars are they're mystifying. I happen to have been on 51st Street doing a little business, and I look up on the High Line, and I see the Amtrak train go by, and then I thought I'd lost my mind, and Brian will tell you it's not a long journey in my case. But these beautiful chocolate brown and orange sherbet orange cars go by.
Illinois Central paint scheme. They paint them in the old Illinois Central colors.
The classic Illinois Central paint job. And they're just beautiful.
By the way, they at Train Day, the National Train Day, they do have vintage cars in the station.
Well, they're going to have 2 cars on display.
Yeah. Okay. What are they going to be?
Well, one will be the observation. I think they're going to try to have the dome and the observation car.
What observation car is that? Like in Double Indemnity, the car that they were in the back of the train, or is that what do you call it?
Yeah, that's the rear car of the train. Yeah. Only like some of them we remember from the golden era, especially at the heavyweights, you had open platforms on the back.
Oh.
Like when Truman was doing his bid for presidency for the whistle stop tours. He come out on the black platform and give his speech. And everything.
When they recreated it around, was it 1976 or somewhere?
Now, in with the ones that they're using, they are completely enclosed, so they're round end observation cars.
The streamlined ones.
Streamline was that? The cars, you mean?
The observation cars are streamlined. They come to almost a point.
Oh,
They're rounded. Remember the Hiawatha ones with the all glass in the back? The rounded ones, which were on the Hiawatha, were rounded, but some of these were tapered in the back so that everybody would have a almost a 360, not 360, but a 180 view.
the tapered ones are referred to as a boat tail. I don't know if that's actually the right name, but that's how people refer to them. The one for the Hiawatha, it almost looks like a Tiffany lamp. There's so many windows in it.
Okay, that is the Skylight series, the Cedar series, Cedar Rapids. That was a special one made. They were sky domes.
That's beautiful.
And then, but then you have them with they actually have flat ends also ones, and they actually did make some of the streamlined ones with open platforms.
In the back, you mean?
Yeah, in the back, so that way, usually for the president's car or other business cars.
I saw the Norfolk Southern executive train, and it has a flat tail that's got a big glass picture window in it. It almost looks like an inspection car.
That is exactly what it is. They call them theater cars. There were coaches that were converted, so when the people, this way they can look at the track when they were going down. At night, they have big floodlights back there also. Chicago Northwestern had one, which UP uses now. It was the Fox River. But Conrail was using it. Norfolk Southern inherited from Conrail and kept it up. CSX has one.
I've seen that one on the tracks that run about 143rd Street, 145th Street, and it's painted the old B&O Enchantment blue, but it's got the yellow CSX Herald on it. Yeah, that's going back to when railroads had really distinctive paint jobs and distinctive names. The Enchantment blue for the B&O. It's hard not to be sentimental about it.
Now,
Oh, it's so true.
would you call this Iowa Pacific, this sort of thing, it's kind of a luxury thing, isn't it? I mean, is it they're selling people on the experience and
That is correct.
vacation type of...
Yeah, like I said, they've done it now. They're planning their next move, which is going to be running a train to New York City, do an overnight trip to there, and they're trying to figure out. They're going to work in the next project is going to be running a train to Florida.
is this working out successfully so far? Does it look like, you know? Or?
Oh yeah, the experience behind the city of New Orleans has been great and overwhelming. But they're going to, like I said, the next two, actually there's two that are going to be coming up. They'll do one for going to Florida, and the other one's going to the West Coast.
Okay. So, and where are they where are they headquartered? Is this Iowa Pacific?
Here in Chicago.
Oh yeah, convenient, huh? Which is neither Iowa nor the Pacific.
That is correct.
Of course, Captain Kangaroo was neither a captain nor a kangaroo.
That is true.
And the Harlem
He was a
Globetrotters-
Marine.
the Harlem Globetrotters were based in Chicago. So
Well, yeah, Harlem Globetrotters were born right up there in Waukegan.
Abe Saperstein's team.
That's correct.
Yeah. Guy, I should have bet him. He says, "Oh no, you know where Harlem is." I said, "I know where Harlem is, but it still doesn't matter." Anyway, we digress. Is there a particular day for this? Maybe I was daydreaming or something like this.
Yeah, it's going to be May 10th, Saturday, May 10th, which will be the anniversary of the driving of the Golden Spike in 1869.
Ogden, Utah?
And no,
No, it's
Promontory.
Promontory.
Promontory. Okay.
Yeah, the official joining of our nation.
Was it really a golden spike?
Yes,
It was.
and you could see it at the California State Railroad Museum.
Where is that, pray tell?
Well, it's in Sacramento, California,
Capital?
exactly where the Central Pacific started,
Okay.
in Old Sacramento. The buildings are there.
Well, these are the sort of things people should know about. I know you had brought a book down here with all
Mhm.
the directory of all the, where is it? Oh, here it is. Here it is over here. You want to say something about that, somebody? Or?
What he's talking to is a tourist train guidebook that Trains Magazine puts out. It comes out every couple of years and updated. This one was updated, I think, 3 years ago.
Trade paperback.
Yeah, it's a paperback, and it tells about the major museums and railroad displays that you could visit throughout the country.
Which are how many?
Well, it says 475 train rides and dinner trains, museums, trolleys, and depots, and then also a few offshoots. So you got almost 500.
So that
Let's
would be
go.
available. That's the.
It's available at any hobby shop.
Is that? Oh, well, that's better than sending away. For it.
Des Plaines Hobbies,
Chicagoland
Chicagoland
Hobbies.
Hobbies,
Berwyn Toys and
Berwyn's Toys and Trains.
Should be
America's
available at
Best.
Hobbytown.
Don't know. Don't do much train getting in Hobbytown. It should be if they have a good train display.
They've got a sizable collection.
Well, something about a book like this. Information is so valuable. I mean, it's dynamite to have something within all that, and it's at your fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we got somebody sent us a flyer here. The Waterman and Western Railroad presents train rides with the Easter Bunny, Saturday, April 19th. The Saturday, Holy Saturday, free 12:30 to 5. Train rides with the Easter Bunny. It says. Now, does anyone know where Waterman is? Waterman, Illinois. That's a 60556 zip code. So I'm trying to figure whether it be west of the city, south of the city.
I know it's west.
Yeah. But anyway, they were kind enough to send it. I lost the envelope it came in. And information you can call 815-264-7753, or you can go to their website is petestrain.com, or email us at events@petestrain.com. That's Pete's, P-E-T-E-S, train, T-R-I-N.com. And if it's not too far away, we're going to take the grandson. Okay, it's not too far, it's far away from the southwest side. How far is far? It's all relative, right? Relevant or relative?
That's true.
Relative. So, anyway, by the way, before I forget, Dave DeRushka, who's absent, he designed this. Dave does his design. He does a lot of works. If you want to get a website or something going, or blah, he designed this one. A handout you're going to be seeing at all of them hobby stores. It says come experience the power of Chicago Junction on a beautiful green. I chose it green stock. Everybody was using that goldenrod. I thought red or green. Let's go green for gold, right?
That's it.
And anyway, he did that, and he was unfortunate he couldn't be here today. And anyway, thanks a lot, Dave. We're going to throw some more business your way, I'm sure. I don't happen to have the card with me.
I'll try to hand those out at the rail fan clubs downtown.
Okay. Well, yeah. Do you want all those? So what's up next? Who we got going, gang? Oh, shall we go guest star time?
All right.
Mike Lehman. Okay. Front and center.
All right.
Special guest star. Now you're here from, let's tell them the name of the club.
Yeah, our advocacy group is called the New York Chicago Bullet Train. It's New York Chicago Bullet Train on Facebook. And then there's also a website, nychicago.rr.org, by a partner of mine. And you guys can just ask away. I'm basically two items here. We're getting other associations across the country that are endorsing the New York Chicago alignment for a true bullet train. Here's the Ohio people. That's their. I'll pass that around. That's their website piece, and it pretty much is along our alignment suggestion. And here's a little idea of population density. I'll let you guys look at that here. And so we've got high-speed rail. I know high-speed rail, as the reporter here in Chicago has mentioned, is kind of not in fashion anymore. But we're trying to reinvigorate it. We've been working on this for many, many years. And the Chicago St. Louis higher speed rail, non-grade separated a line has been worked on, and it's going to be nearing completion, and the infrastructure and rolling stock will be up and going in a couple years. And that's fine. I think people will be real happy about that. Amtrak's important for city, country transportation, and Amtrak does a fine job. So the one thing that's important here is that other advocacy groups across the country are now fully supporting New York Chicago as a true bullet train alignment. So that's very exciting. And the other thing is that we're going to start making an effort to do more radio and television and political type interviews and presentations. The Green Party candidate for Congress wants to know why bullet trains are going to be so important, and so I'll be talking to their group a little bit about it. So the other thing that's important here is that what I did when I started this venture a decade or two ago is that I rode on a couple bullet trains in Europe, and I thought to myself, I said, what if we did build a Thalys or a TGV or a Eurostar or a Shinkansen type of railroad in the United States? Where would it make sense? And as you can see on this one map here, it really makes a whole lot of sense between New York and Chicago, because about half the people in the country, thank you, about half the people in the country live between New York and Chicago. So, and points in between. So it really makes a whole lot of sense if we are going to spend the serious money and the time and effort, that's really what we want to do.
All right. Look at where the TGV runs,
Yes.
the Shinkansen,
Yes.
or the ICE.
Yes.
How big are those countries?
Those countries, well, I think Germany has 80 million population. France has 70
How
million.
big is the country?
Territory-wise, area-wise?
Territory-wise.
Germany's the
compared
size
to
of-
a state.
Germany is about the size of Texas,
But Germany keeps
and
getting
France
bigger.
is about the size of Texas.
How big?
About the size of Texas.
No.
Geographically. Yeah, if you check the map. I don't have.
Okay, but look at Japan. And you look at the success. What has been the big factor in success of the high-speed rails
In Japan,
in any country that runs them?
they're popular. They don't use oil, first of all, and people love them.
To get them built.
Oh, the political will you're talking about?
Yeah.
That thing? Oh, yeah, we have a lot of chicken congressmen. No
Since the
question.
70s,
No question. They got a lot
since the 70s,
of... Uh-huh.
passenger service has been taking a big beating in the United States.
But it's going up now.
Well,
Yeah.
see, that's just it. With what we have, passenger service is carrying more,
Exactly.
doing more. However, without the politicians behind us,
Yeah, I don't
it's like flogging a dead horse.
Well, I don't think you can get politicians to do anything until the people want them. You make them.
well, the
do
people
things.
do want it, but they aren't doing what the people
Well,
want.
that's why me and Mr. Paydock and a couple of these other organizations are going to be the mouthpiece and the cheerleaders, and make it absolutely clear that we should not have a 99% oil-dependent transportation system in this country. And with aviation costs and usage going up and oil usage going up, we got to grow up and be serious about other transportation issues.
I mean, what's wrong with
Or
a bullet?
choices.
Like I said, a bullet train between San Francisco and L.A. makes sense.
Kinda, yeah. It's
Well, why
it's all
can't
right.
it? Look at the distance. How much distance you talking?
It's similar to New York, Chicago. It's a little shorter.
Well, it is short. I mean, you're talking
little bit,
900.
not
you're,
much.
You're talking 900 miles.
Here, from New York to Chicago, it's around 800, 900, depends on
Yeah.
the slice it. And then from San Francisco or San Diego to San Francisco, around 700 miles.
But like you look at the Shinkansen,
That's 1,500 miles.
when it first opened between Osaka and Tokyo and Kyoto, how far is that?
Yeah, it was about 250 miles.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why, you get a lot of people in, yes, people are blaming the Republicans for wanting to shut it down, when the Democrats have been doing just as much damage with only because of like what the governor of Wisconsin did with the Talgo system.
Yeah.
Saying, no, we don't want the funds. We're going to use those funds for the highway, and he lost all the money.
Well, those were probably pretty good ideas, and Amtrak's a good idea in New York to San Francisco, or New York, or San Francisco to San Diego is a good idea.
Yeah.
I think maybe the people weren't that excited about New York or Chicago to Milwaukee or Chicago to St. Louis, and they were kind of ho-hum about it. But something like when you talk to people, like, how about if we built this? Picture of a bullet train here somewhere. How about if we built a bullet train from New York to Chicago? People stop in their tracks. They go, yes.
Okay.
No question. I want my tax dollars going to that, not to wars or not to oil or not to tax cuts for Republicans or Democrats. I don't see this as a Democrat-Republican thing.
All right.
I see it as the Republicans would love this too.
Now, on that plan to New York, do you have it segmented?
Oh, geez, there's a lot smarter people. There's civil engineers, a lot smarter people than me that will know how to use existing right-of-way, use existing tunnel structures.
No,
and
the
how
first distance to open your first stretch of line.
Oh,
Where would you want it to go?
I don't know. It goes to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania right now.
Would you say Chicago to Toledo?
Gee, I don't know.
Toledo to Cleveland.
I would not sell it that way. I would sell it as New York, Chicago.
Yes, but to get the funds to get it built, you can't get the funds from New York to
This
Chicago. But couldn't you get it from
serious money and serious jobs? This is not a little Chicago to Fort Wayne situation.
No, I
where
said
everybody's going to go, who cares? This is like serious money. This is
okay.
like,
This could be like building
this
a
is
transcontinental.
Exactly.
You have
This
a
is
group
serious
starting
stuff.
in New York, a group starting in Chicago, but you open segments.
Yeah, I don't know
To get a start.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know where. I mean, I know I could guarantee you the sand patch somewhere in here between Harrisburg and Pittsburgh is going to be a bear, and you know that, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be a real bear going through the Alleghenies. It's going to be, I can't swear, but it's going to be tough.
Difficult.
Extremely, but it'll be exciting. It'll be bridges.
Oh, there's no doubt
it'll be
about that.
structures. It'll be money. It'll be jobs. It'll be future jobs. It'll be fun, and the people will love it. But pretty much it's pretty flat. Cleveland and Pittsburgh's pretty hilly, and then it's pretty much flat along here. There's going to be a combination of existing right-of-way, going through cornfields, going through forests, being adjacent to interstate highways, just like they do in other overseas. Okay, any other,
Doug, question?
No.
Who's on board?
Kevin?
No, I'm.
Okay.
We should
I'm
get
not
a-
on board, but here's the problem.
Money.
That's one of them. The other one is society's attitude.
I love it.
Milwaukee, Elgin is a metro stop, right? Chicago to Elgin, metro commuter line. In Germany and Japan, that's long distance train, same distance. And that's where the problem
No,
comes in.
Japan's 1,500 miles.
We have, if you have a town 40 miles away from Tokyo, you take an inner city train. You don't take a commuter to it. Same in France, same in Germany. Here we have a driving mentality that says Milwaukee, Amtrak or drive? Drive.
That
St.
used
Louis,
to be the mentality.
St. Louis, drive? Take Amtrak or take a plane. Now, it's a matter of time. I already clocked it out. I want to go see my kid in South Carolina. 38 hours on Amtrak is not going to work for me. I want to spend time with the kid, not with the train.
Well, of course, you would fly to South Carolina from Chicago.
That's the problem here. People want to go to New York. It's got to be attractive. It's got to be cost effective, even with the planes. Without the planes, some people will still drive it.
Most people will fly New York to Chicago or, New York, or Chicago to Philadelphia.
The bottom line, and I agree with the gentleman across the table from me, is you have to have the time to do it. My son went to school in D.C. We live in Chicago. He came home one time and one time only on the train because passenger trains do not have priority on the rail.
Of course not.
And he literally came in 4 hours late. And he said, I will never do that again. I
wouldn't either. But you know what? I tell you what, here's what gets lost in all this. Amtrak is sold as inner city rail. It's not inner city rail. Amtrak, people, is for city country rail. People that don't have cars or elderly, that have to get to a prison, that have to get to a college, that have to get to a small town. That is what Amtrak is perfect for. It serves 600 locations. It's for small towns, Amtrak. It's for the Amish. It's not to get to New York. You fly to New York. But this...
Oh, then I won't invest. Because you're presenting it wrong.
No, this is going to take 4 hours to get to New York. If you do it right, if you don't do it cheap, if you don't do it halfway. At 200 miles per hour, 700 miles, you get to New York in 4.5 hours.
The only way it's going to happen if you get Congress.
The people have to get Congress.
Well, we have to get the right people in Congress then.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad, there's a lot of bad politicians out there now.
Yeah. Can I interject before, as a representative of the ignorant? I mean, you guys are all the real experts here. What do we mean by bullet train to begin with?
200 mile per hour, electric, non-oil using, comfortable. The way it's built in France, Spain, China just built a 1,500 a line that's twice as long as New York, Chicago. A bullet train is completely different than Amtrak.
Okay, on that happy note, we're getting a signal for a break, so we'll be right back. Don't touch that dial.
And you are listening to Chicago Junction on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network from the John DeVita Broadcast Center. And now, back to our panel.
Welcome back. You didn't touch that dial now, did you? You sure? You didn't go over and check out what was on Sports Channel or something there or whatever, Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Okay, we're back with Chicago Junction, our all-encompassing railroad show, and we're talking with guest Bob Lehman about a proposed New York-Chicago bullet train. Are we ready to go? Where are we now?
I'm ready again.
Once again, a bullet train is what?
An all-electric European Asian-style transportation mode, 200 miles per hour, grade separated all along the way, stopping in major cities.
Okay, it's electric. Okay.
Oh, yeah. No oil. No bad oil.
No fuel oil, you mean?
No oil of any kind.
No lubrication? Must be.
A little bit of lubrication.
Yes, I'm saying lubrication.
But it uses electricity. But, in this country, if you notice, coal is being used less and less. Coal use is down 5% every year on year. And but oil for gasoline and jet fuel's up more than 5% every year in use. So it's sustainable. It's kind of a green technology, actually, a bullet train too.
Okay.
But if you guys have any other questions or comments, I would glad to entertain it.
No, enough devil's advocate for me.
Now then, Your organization is nonprofit or what is it?
Yeah, it's nonprofit.
Advocacy?
Yeah, for now, we would like to find somebody to help us, some champion of our cause, or someone with huge deep pockets, possibly, to move this along, or anybody else that has suggestions. But we're just working the political route, and we're going to start getting involved more in the media route, and doing some presentations and videos.
So this would be like the showpiece from New York, Chicago, and possibly other routes later, or what?
Yeah, the beauty of this route is actually not only would it be Chicago, New York, but conceivably you could have a Detroit branch, an Indianapolis branch. Ohio has talked of the Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland branch. You could come down to Carolina. There's all kinds of possibilities. Now, I'll be long gone when all that stuff it takes place. But,
you're a young man.
I'll still be long gone. If we get New York, Chicago, or actually all we need is New York or Chicago to Harrisburg, because it is built up to the Alleghenies in Pennsylvania. So all we need is 600 miles. It would be fun. It would be good jobs. It would be recurring jobs. It would be expensive. It would be a nice showpiece for Obama to restart this initiative with high-speed rail. We don't even like to use the word high-speed rail or the phrase high-speed rail anymore, because it's been used for a lot of various things. So we just call it a bullet train. So it works. It's very successful in every country in the world: China, Japan, Taiwan, Korea, France, Spain. And there's other programs in the works in other countries. There's no reason it wouldn't be popular and a moneymaker for Amtrak or whoever wanted to operate this.
Now, if someone were to say, like, hypothetically speaking now, why would you want to travel that fast on land when you could take another way?
Well, everybody knows that there's a lot of security involved in aviation and time. And you know, we did some time studies, and if you flew to Philadelphia or New York or Washington or Pittsburgh, it's generally a 4, 5, 6 hour proposition anyway, and that's about what it would be. In the grand scheme, who cares about an hour or two? I mean, it'd be a much more comfortable ride. It would be scenic. It's green. It's fun. You got leg room. You're not going to crash. Plane won't end up in the Atlantic, and they won't be able to find you. They'll find you on a bullet train.
No black box?
No black boxes on the bullet trains. So, it's a choice. I mean, people are getting a little tired of aviation, and I expect aviation. Next time oil, we're already paying the tar sands and the fracking rate for $4 or $5 a gallon for gasoline and jet fuel. I expect the oil companies to start moving that up farther. So we'll probably have, again, a lot of mass bankruptcies in the airline industry again, and then air travel getting even more expensive. So, the price points will be much, much cheaper going forward with electric fuel, transportation fuel versus petroleum.
Is there a special sort of rail setup or something to accommodate 200 miles an hour?
Oh yeah,
surface?
it's all out there. It's well designed and engineered. The track, the sleepers, the turnouts, the yards, the infrastructure, the train sets, the bogies, the carbide-based pantograph systems. It's all been really perfected the last 50 years in Japan and in France. With people with like Siemens and Alstom and so forth. So this is like my partner says, it's off-the-shelf equipment and infrastructure. And land. Everybody's worried about the land, and this infrastructure is only going to be 50 feet wide. O'Hare Airport takes up more acreage than a 50-foot path from Chicago to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's like the width of one road, or half of an expressway. So yeah, we'd have to cut through a lot of farm fields and forests, but it's not a lot of land. And there's things to mitigate sound and noise. It is a little bit loud. It's not nearly as loud as a jet craft going over Norridge, Illinois. I imagine we're in the flight path right here of O'Hare. But there's ways to, take care of the noise from a bullet.
No, I can tell you about flight paths. Wherever I lived, I was on the flight path to Midway, one way or another. I remember never that off, always right there, And if it can cut down a noise like that, that's something to shoot for, anyway.
Yeah, maybe the northwest side of Chicago would like this to cut down on trips from the East Coast, airline trips. Aircraft is very noisy. Aircraft's very dirty too. There's a lot of benzene and other carcinogens that come from jet fuel. And I have a lady friend that's in Schiller Park, and every summer she's wiping off her windows from jet fuel exhaust. And I get, where that goes. If it doesn't go on your window, it goes into your lungs. So there have been reports of asthma problems on the northwest side.
How do you wipe lungs?
Yeah, how do you wipe lungs?
You don't.
You get a free greasing from
Yeah,
jet fuel.
that is a consideration. Our health, obviously.
A 747 gets 25 gallons per mile. That's not miles per gallon. Gallons per mile.
What about a 777? What are they?
I think it varies from 5 gallons per mile to 25.
I was we were just on last month where a family actually did go to what are these islands out there's 5 times. Oh, it's Hawaii. We went on 777 right after the flight disappeared. So
yeah, it probably burnt about 40,000 gallons of gas. Probably 10 gas stations worth of gas getting out to Hawaii. Bullet trains don't use that.
is that $4 and something a gallon or what?
Yeah.
Or more?
Yeah. Oh no, I think
fuel?
jet fuel's tax exempt for some reason.
Aw.
When you're part of the military industrial aviation complex, you get
Yeah, I understand.
you get tax exemption from
Was it 80% or something of our price of a gallon is all taxes or?
for gasoline?
Yeah. Was it more?
No. Gasoline's only 20 cents a gallon federal and 20 cents a gallon state. So
Well,
if you're paying $4.50 for a gallon of gas now, you're only paying 50 cents in taxes.
Oh,
Only?
Well, $4 goes to the refinery. And
No, I was just commenting. It's only.
Well,
Yeah.
50 cents versus $4.50. $4 is going to the frackers and the Saudi Arabians.
Yeah.
And the mobile
I got
Exxons.
so much for Rahm Emanuel, so much for Preckwinkle, so much for.
Yeah. I'm surprised they don't raise the gas taxes more.
Shh! Don't tell anybody.
You
Nobody's hearing that.
just lost any and all support for your program.
In fact, no. That's a great idea. I could see.
You just lost all support from everyone that you spent the last 20 minutes trying to sweet talk.
I could see raising money for a bullet train from gas taxes easily. A penny a gallon.
No.
You guys can't afford a penny a gallon. Aw.
Well, it's not a matter of the penny. This comes down to
Tell you
the.
what, I'll make it up to you next month.
This
Why do we go to Indiana and buy our gas and buy it in Illinois?
So you spend $20 to drive down to Indiana,
And it's still cheaper.
and then you're only saving $20.
it's not one.
That's
penny.
car culture, damn it.
There's an old-
I have a 17-gallon tank in my Equinox when I top it off. And if I can save 30 cents a gallon, it's worth it for me to make the trip to Indiana to top off that tank.
Honest to God, you do that?
I have been known to do that.
Okay, so say $4 a gallon. $4 a gallon times 17 is what, about $55?
No,
down
4
low.
times 17 would be 68.
68.
You were obviously not beaten by nuns as a child, or you'd be
but-
able to do the math.
But there was no 17 times table either.
Yeah, 17's a rough one. So $68, and you would drive 30. We want to get back to trains. Anyway, wherever you want to buy gas is your choice, I guess.
All right, talking about trains. This past weekend, I had the opportunity to go to Oak Lawn, Illinois, and the Northern Illinois Lego Train Club was putting on a free show at the library, and it was tremendous. The only thing I really didn't like about it is their trains are narrow. They're about an inch narrower than a Lionel car for the same piece of equipment, and their engines are narrower too. But it's just amazing to see what they can do.
Oh, yeah. Hey, the kids playing, they're having fun.
I mean, you at one end of the display, you're in England. At the other end of the display, you're on Mos Eisley, surrounded by Jawas and Ewoks.
Well, it's like going to the DuPage County Fairgrounds, second Sunday of the month, where they have the train show, swap meet out there. A couple layouts come out, and one is up on stage is a Lego layout. Guy up there sets up.
It's every month?
Yeah, except July when they bring in the county fair.
Oh.
It'll be the first Sunday in May and in June, and it'll be off July and it'll
So
start
this
up
is
again in
people
August.
come in, rent a table or something? And,
Yeah, rent a table
Yeah.
and sell trains
You know,
or Railroadania paraphernalia,
anything, magazines or
magazines, movies,
slides.
T-shirts, caps, paintings.
I had no knowledge.
See, we give you knowledge.
Hey,
That's why
what I
you
say.
have us here.
Yes, we seek knowledge. We seek truth.
And if you want to seek truth,
What?
if we want to see how it's done right,
Yeah.
the way trains should be run, on May 10th and 11th, the the Norfolk Southern Railway are going to be running an employee special using nickel plate Berkshire 765.
Nice train. I've ridden behind
And
it.
they're going to run from Calumet City to Argo, Indiana. So it's a short distance. They'll be doing several trips a day. They'll be just for the employees. But if you want to see something nice trackside, I suggest people go out and they can see what a real steamer can do.
If you want to go and take a picture of it, I suggest that you go out to 133rd and Brainerd Avenue in beautiful metropolitan downtown Hegwich, Illinois. And you can stand on the sidewalk. Actually, there's a Metro parking lot right there. You can stand in the parking lot, and the train will come right past you at a distance of about 40 feet, and you can get some beautiful pictures.
Well, that's something good for our people to do if they have nothing to do with them 2 days.
For those who don't understand, Hegwish is a section of the city which some people don't believe exists if they don't get out that far, right?
Well, it starts at 130th Street and runs the city limits south, and it's pretty much defined by Brainerd Avenue on the west and the Indiana state line on the east. And they say it's the first, last, and only line of defense for the city of Chicago against invasion from Indiana.
But it also, that also would be a nice way to top off the day after you've been spent at Union Station at National Train Day.
Now, you worked out that way, didn't you, Kevin?
Yeah, I spent 10 years in that district. My first exposure to trains, believe it or not, was with the 611, with the Chicago chapter of the National Railway Historical Society. I found out the train was coming in, and I was a sergeant in the 4th District. And
That's the police department, folks.
Yeah. And I made a point of getting in touch with the National Railway Historical Society and coordinated proper police coverage to keep the rail fans from getting a little too close to the grade crossing at 130th near Torrance. And rail fans forget that something that's that big can be that dangerous. They get so psyched up in wanting that perfect picture, they sometimes forget their own safety. Which brings us to the topic of the Operation Lifesaver, who said last year was the worst year for people getting killed by trains. 476 people lost their lives to trackside accidents, and unfortunately the two biggest causes are, people not rendering proper obedience to to the gates when they're down and the lights are lit up and the bells are ringing, and young people who honestly believe they're impervious to any injury with their earbuds in, walking down tracks.
Yes, that is youth, isn't it? Youth believes they're indestructible. And now, these you're talking about now, these are all pedestrian, automobiles, what?
Pedestrians and automobiles.
All content? Oh, so, yeah.
And
Yeah, both grade crossing accidents and trespassing.
Now, what's the law say about these crossings? I understand you don't have to have gates or anything. Is that true? You don't know.
every grade crossing needs to be posted.
Mm-hmm.
They don't all have to have bells and lights, but they do have to have crossbucks.
Mm-hmm.
And
So they're marked.
they're marked.
Well marked, yeah.
But a lot of times people just think that, well, I got plenty of time. The problem is with the train, it's tag you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear of anybody getting hit by a train and nudged out of the way.
Right. But there's no easy collision, is there?
No, and I want to say it was probably 10 years ago now. There was a young person got too close to the Canadian National Tracks at 94th and Kedzie. He had actually gone beyond the arm that came down at on the pedestrian side at the sidewalk, and the train was moving through at speed, and the train creates a wind tunnel effect and actually drew the young man into and under the train. And
I've seen the results of that. I was over at the morgue a few times. Yeah, there's no easy injuries there.
no, I in the 31 years that I was a police officer, I had more than one occasion where someone lost to a train, and if it's a car, sometimes everybody gets lucky and stays inside the car. When it's a person that's not inside the car, it makes for an extensive multi-officer search for all the fragments, because when a train is done with you, you're literally putting a puzzle together, and it's not pleasant.
Yeah, I've been around there too myself. So, okay, we got anything else on our?
Actually, I have one pleasant thing to talk about. Completely out of character. This Saturday coming up, the 19th of April, which is Holy Saturday, and again on the third Saturday of May, the Chicagoland Lionel Railroad Club, which is out at 1311 Schoolhouse Road in New Lenox, will have an open house. There is a small fee to get in. The club is based on has a 60 by 60 building. They have the ability to operate 12 different engines simultaneously. It's quite a layout, and they're Lionel, so they're the big trains like we all remember from the Museum of Science and Industry. Big enough that you can enjoy the graphics on the side, and there's absolutely no telling what you're going to see as far as equipment.
Is it New Lenox?
New Lenox, Illinois.
Okay.
Schoolhouse Road is about 4 miles east of the Maple Street exit from I-80, and then you make a right turn, you go south on Schoolhouse, and for the landmark navigators, that's the intersection of High School and Walgreens.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Take your inner child out and have a pleasant afternoon.
My inner child stays out. Past curfew, even.
I'm not going there.
Okay, now before we could, I had another question. Where is Old Lenox? Sorry, smart aleck. A guy told me, a lawyer told me one time when I was in the army, I used to put guys like you in the guardhouse. So anyway, yeah, we got. Okay, got that. So we got some things going on locally, right?
Yes, sir.
There's always something, right?
Yeah, May 10th will be the opening of the Garden Railway at the Chicago Botanic Garden,
Which is in
Glenview,
Glenview, right? A beautiful
just
place.
off Lake Cook Road, near 41.
That's G gauge. It's the large scale
Yeah,
trains,
it's
correct?
it's a garden railway. It is outdoors. You know, we have one during the winter that we run, the Winter Wonderland Express. Well, this is the outdoor version. There are 18 trains running out there, and what it is, when you go through and look at all the structures, it's basically a tour of the United States. You start in Seattle and work your way down the coast and make your way to Philadelphia and New York.
Anywhere else? Louisville or anywhere?
Let's say Louisville. No, Louisville's not there.
No? Now, do they pronounce the capital of Kentucky Louisville or Louisville?
Frankfurt.
There you go. You heard it before, huh? I thought it was
Well, that's what happens
But
when I get.
the question you were asking is Louisville.
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 Yeah, Louisville. I know.
They leave a
How
few
about-
letters
How
out.
about, how about Nolans?
Nolans.
Nolans?
Nah, Nawlins. Nolans.
Nyack.
And it's, remember now, Chicago. Chicago.
And then we got Hoboken. Right
the-
across the river from,
Why do they call New Jersey the Garden State? Truck gardens, not urban flowers or whatever. We have a request. Mike wanted to say something more before we go.
Oh yeah. Well, I was going to mention for the rail fans out there, you can always go to. This might be redundant. Go to railcc.org, railcc.org, and that has the schedule events for the Railroad Historical Society Club, the Short Lines Club, the CERA, of course, and then the 20th Century Club. And one last thing. If anybody wants to see my Facebook page, you could go to Facebook or Google and put in New York Chicago Bullet Train in Facebook or Google, or reach me at usbullettrain@gmail.com. I'd like to hear your comments. Thank you.
Oh, that's you're welcome. And we like to, anytime you want to come back, I think you come down here. It makes for some lively conversation, which is fine. We all leave friends anyway. We can agree to disagree, correct? Right? I think it should be debated like that. Didn't Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill used to go over to Tat Troy's over in Arlington, Virginia after the day and bend the elbow for a while? They did. They got the spot all marked off there if you've ever been there with the pictures. And so I guess the other people went too,
It's a political issue.
And there's something historic up, locomotive owned by Dave Clokey, the Leviathan. That was the 440 that was built in Elgin. The guy built in his shop. We'll be running in Indianapolis next weekend. This coming weekend they'll be running in Wellington, Ohio, but they're coming to the Indiana Transportation Museum north of Indianapolis in Noblesville. It'll be pulling two coaches. One of the coaches is actually Henry Flagler's coach. Henry Flagler was the oil man who built the Florida East Coast Railroad and the big Flagler Hotel down in Miami and in Palm Beach. Oh, yeah.
Well, these luxury cars.
He's the one who built the railroad that went to sea. When he built the railroad from Key West, that went through all the islands down to Key West. Before they catch the ferry over to Havana.
Okay.
That's the one that got torn down in a hurricane.
What years are you talking about with this guy now?
He died just after they opened the extension, which was in the 1920s.
So that was when Cuba was a holiday destination.
Yes, it was.
A vacation. People don't know that.
But a hurricane went through and took it out. But a lot of the bridges actually still exist for the railroad because that's what they build US 1 on.
Okay. And how many keys are down there just to...
Okay, now you had to ask that.
A ring full.
A ring full? A ring full? Very good.
All I know is
good.
I only know that there's good fishing around them keys.
Hey, John, come on out and say hello to everybody.
Hi,
Here's
everybody.
the power behind the throne, or the throne itself, the guy who produces it and got this all together. And you had quite an experience, right? Didn't you have quite a bit of experience in radio yourself? That's it. Speaking to the microphone.
Okay, well, I was I started my career at St. Andrew's Roman Catholic Church at Addison and Paulina back in about 1952, 53, and then back in the year 2002, March 1st of 2002, I became station manager and chief engineer for Joe Gentile's WJJG until his death in October the 10th of 2011. And after that, John Chikanda came up to me and he says, we could start up a website and we could have a lot of our programs on the website. And in the meantime, I got in touch with Kevin Zeflik, who was the station manager over at the Ridgewood High School, WRHS FM 89.7, and now I'm he's top engineer for audio and top engineer for television, and I just got done building a couple remote cabinets and doing some rewiring over there at the high school. So radio broadcasting has been in my blood since I was just a little boy.
So I know you love to do these remotes and stuff.
Yes, I do.
Joe loved to have remotes, didn't he?
Joe Gentile, I tell you, he used to yell at me, when are we going to do a remote? When are we going to do a remote? Let's do a remote. Let's go do a remote. And I went to many places. The 3 Owls restaurant, which is right here at Gunnison and Harlem and Harwood Heights. I was there many times. Tony Spavone's out in Bloomingdale. I was out there several times.
When we first met out there.
That's
right.
right. Yeah. And then there was a place right on the corner of Route 83 and St. Charles Road, the Copper Kitchen. I did many remotes out there in the parking lot. Giacchino's over on St. Charles Road, I did remotes, and many remotes we did. He loved doing that.
The reason I bring this up, folks, is if it wasn't for Joe Gentile, we wouldn't be here right now.
That's right.
I got on board with the Cop Talk when somebody told me about that, and it leads into Donna Sports and all the other shows.
Yeah.
I was listening for about 5 hours every Saturday.
Yep.
Unfortunately, all the that's all gone now. So
Yes, just memories.
Never see the likes again.
That's right.
Are we ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kevin Mary.
Thank you, sir.
Brian Valou.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Doug Kianuk.
Thank you, sir.
And Mike Lehman, our special guest star. And please, Mike, do come back. Feel free.
Enjoyed it. Thank
and
you.
This is Jack Ryan reminding you that happy rails to you.
All aboard! Next stop, Chicago Junction.
Join us again next time when we take our railroad of imagination on our continuing journey through the wonderful world of trains. Chicago Junction is a production of the Windy City Hometown Radio Network and can be heard on this station, as well as WindyCityHometown.com, where recordings of all our shows may be heard. Once again, aboard! This is your announcer, Brian Valou. Thank you for listening. And oh yeah, the conductor was portrayed by Charlie Johnson, a struggling young actor in need of work. Thank you again.
You have been listening to Chicago Junction on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on the Northwest Side. Chicago Junction is produced by Jack Ryan, directed by John DeVita, edited by Stephen Lehman, and our audio engineer is James Rohde. This broadcast was pre-recorded on Monday, April the 14th, the year 2014. Be safe, and thanks for listening.